So the other day, my wife and I went to a local restaurant, kind of like an eatery, sandwich shop, and it's known for having pretty good food, served quickly, but not fast food. Anyway, we got in there at about 7 o'clock, and we were, getting four sandwiches. And we got the place the order, and we get the little buzzer, and we're waiting in line. And there were four or five other folks that had come after us, and they were also waiting. As I was looking behind the line, I realized the staff were clearly like maybe the B or the C team. They were folks that I don't know, maybe they're lower on the pay scale or maybe last ditch effort. I don't know if the good staff comes in the morning, but they just seem to be a little lackluster when it came to heart and enthusiasm. Like, I'm looking at it thinking, man, you've got some of the best food, and you don't even care that you're serving it. You just kind of schlepping it in bowls and going on. You don't realize like how great it is, the food that you're serving. Anyway, as I watch this team interact, the guy coming from the back of the house to bring out the soup and dump it into the container, just kind of slow and gentle, just chilling, And then the young lady whose hat barely fit her head, she didn't have it tight enough and it was sitting kind of cockeyed. She just kind of wandered around, really. And, nobody leading her or telling her what's next. She had a little screen that said, okay, this order, and this order, and this order. And my order had definitely been skipped over. But I'm just sitting here thinking, you guys really don't care about what you're doing. And I understand it's just food, but this isn't like a just food restaurant. This is a little bit nicer than that. Anyway, the leader of this team comes out, the assistant manager, I guess, and he comes out to help out, And I at that moment realized that I should have figured out what kind of leader they had on this team just by the look of the team. And I'm not talking about just outward appearance. I'm talking about the cadence, the emotional disposition, the excitement for what they're doing. This leader fully embodied his people. It's like he handpicked them to mirror himself. He was slow, apathetic, just kind of, he knew it was important to get the food out and get the food in the bags, and maybe cared about his job. And he had a nicely pressed shirt on. But it's like the guy woke up like 10 minutes ago and came into work and just wasn't ready for the day. It was an amazing phenomenon to realize for me how much his leadership or his emotional disposition was reflected on his team across the board. Every single one of them that I saw just seemed to mirror how he carried himself. Frumpy, I guess, it's the best word. And it's not just outwardly, but even with the food, the whole 9 yards. Then I noticed probably the store general manager came in, and when they realized that there were 4 or 5 tickets hanging in the window that were over, 10 minutes old, and this guy comes in, he puts his gloves on, which, by the way, I think he was the only one wearing gloves, not that I care about that, but he was ready to go. He was in the game. He said, hey, what do you need? Let's get going here, And this guy, took charge of the room and of the team, and you could see their face change. It wasn't out of fear, but it seemed to be like, all right, we're going to do something now. We're ready to go. And there was 4 or 5 people behind the line at that point. And, he was there to do some sort of rescuing, I guess you could say. Anyway, at the end of the day, the lesson that I learned was that your team or a leader's team will always mirror them. You attract who you are, and how you lead is how people will follow you. I guess when we step into our various fields of ministry or our various fields of leadership, and we start a meeting or we start our daily work, whatever that is, with our teams, and we're carrying ourselves like, last night's leftovers, or we're carrying ourselves, just not with it and not engaged and not caring about our team, they pick up on it and they mirror it. So if you want to know if you're a good leader, you look at your team. If your team's knocking it out of the park, then you're a good leader. If they're not, don't blame them. Figure out what's going on with you. That's all I got. I had 4 sandwiches, and the order was right. Incredibly slow.